Today we're attacking perfectionism. I find that most people who have ADHD are perfectionist, where they want whatever they're working on to be the best that they can do. And there's a lot of different reasons for this. So one, when you have ADHD, just inherently you're a more passionate person. Just due to the nature of the disorder, you tend to be very intense and passionate. And that means that you want to do your best. And it means that you've also probably done really, really well in the past when it was on your terms. And so you have this standard for yourself that you set where this is what you want because you've done these great feats in the past. We've all been labeled gifted underachievers. And so we want to sort of meet this benchmark of being gifted. You know, we've probably all been told that we're gifted. All gifted kids are special needs kids. But because of this, because we have this intensity and this passion about us, and because we've done really good work that we're very proud of in the past, we've set this benchmark of really, really high standards for all of our work. But stop and think about that for a second. Wait a minute. Stop and think about that. If your best work is what people would call gifted, why do you need to do your best work all the time? You don't. You absolutely do not. You do not need to be giving your best all the time, 24/7. In fact, because you are gifted, you could probably get away with doing like a totally mid job. Like just completely put in like half effort and be fine. Now that's hard for somebody with ADHD to do. I'm trying to switch into middle gear right now, and I find that it's very, very hard for me to be in middle gear. I always want to either be intense or I want to be really chill. And it's hard to be in this middle gear, but we got to get better at this. This is where you're weak, and so we need to make it stronger. And the way we can do this is by reminding ourselves that we're supposed to be in middle gear, by making it a focus in our life, and just trying to solve the problem. You're smart enough to solve this problem. I'm going to give you some things that help you solve this problem. Stay tuned on my channels, like and subscribe. But really, good enough is just OP. A lot of people are perfectionists. And so the people who are okay with just doing good enough, and when you have ADHD, if you are this gifted individual whose 100% is like another person's 80%, and most people aren't even looking for 80% for whatever job they're having you do, and really you aren't either, because let's be real here, you just want something that works, right? Like that's what you actually want. You want something that works, that functions, that does the job. And if you want more than that, you're crazy, because that comes through iteration. So really just settle for good enough. Get into your mind that good enough is OP. Good enough is the goal. You need to be mentally searching for, okay, it's good enough. Or yeah, that works. It's fine. So you kind of got to change your mindset. And there's some resistance to it. It takes practice. I'm going to give you something that helps a ton. Just understanding how productive MVPs are. Now, what is an MVP? An MVP is a minimum viable product. Okay, now what is that? It's green light go. It just works. It's not fancy. It's nothing special. It's nothing spectacular. It just works. An example of this would be instead of building an entire Notion dashboard, which I'm guilty of this, and I mean, there's a place for the Notion dashboard, but instead of building an entire Notion dashboard, could you just do what you're trying to do with a text document? Could you just open up a random text document on your computer and just like type in what you're trying to do? And if the answer is yes, how much faster would you get the work done if you could just do that? So yeah, a minimum viable product is basically the fastest and easiest, least pretty way that you can just get out the door, get it moving, get it working. It's not a finished product. It's the minimum viable product. It's to the point where it's good enough, it works. Even if you have to manually copy paste from here to there, it's not automated, but maybe it's just like a little bit of a system you got going where it's good enough. Maybe you want something automated, right? Let's say you want something automated. Good for you. Automation is like huge in productivity. That's like passive income for your productivity. But let's say you're having a really hard time coding. Let's say you're having a really hard time making this automation. Can it be a little bit simpler where you just like copy the data and then paste it into a field, and then maybe the field you're pasting it to is an AI and you have a prompt, and then the prompt is just like, sort this for me, and then it sorts it for you, and then you take that copied information and then you put it somewhere, and it's like, boom, this whole process took maybe 1 minute max, and it's like, boom, it's done. Whatever data you needed sorted, it's done. The AI did it. Even if it looks a little jank every time because it's slightly different, but it's just in the same sort of configuration where it's like, okay, it doesn't need to be uniform. I just understand. I can see it. It works. I have the data. It's good. That is a minimum viable product. Like ideally, you want your like synced spreadsheet that's like using some like expensive service to port it into your Notion database, and then like your Notion database sorts it out, and then you've got it like plugged into the API and all this crazy stuff for like making your automation. And it's like, do you need that? Do you really need that? Or is it okay just taking the 1 minute to do it for now? And this has been an elaborate example, but I mean, this is for everything, right? Maybe instead of writing this whole journal prompt thing, you just start with, okay, how do I feel? Maybe that's all you write in your journal. How did I feel today? And then from there, you just let momentum take over and you write whatever the hell you want. And then from there, you can start to identify patterns. And this is why the minimum viable product is king, because the minimum viable product gives you data on what you actually need versus what you just think you need. Because humans are absolutely delusional, and we try to do things that nobody wants, nobody needs. We just have an opinion, and we want to validate and confirm it. So we will include things that actually make the thing that we're making worse just because we have an opinion or an idea that this is what it needs. This is especially true in group settings, where it's like you try to make something for a group and you add all these crazy features, and whatever you're making gets pushed back like multiple times, and the whole group's like losing hype, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, are you gonna release this yet? And then you make it and it's like all these things, and everyone's like, dude, I don't even know how to use this. Like, what am I looking at here? You know, but you're like, in your head, you were like, and ADHD people are especially prone to this. You get so hyped. You're like, oh, this is going to be freaking amazing. People are going to love this. People are going to love this. If I had this thing. It's like, no, dude, you need to make a minimum viable product because other people are not you. And you don't even know what you need yet because you don't know what's actually going to come up in the process. Everything's always a process. Productivity is a process. You don't just make something and then it's done and it's perfect. It needs iteration. So you make the minimum viable product. MVP is king. I want you to remember that. That's a new mantra. MVP is king. And then it's like, oh, now you can get feedback. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want this. I don't like this. And then you make a version that's slightly better and a little bit more in line with what you had in mind. That's good. And this allows for the vision to change and evolve in a healthy way for literally anything. Like I keep making this sound like it's for big projects, but this could be like for something really, really small, like the journaling. And I want you to remember that perfectionism is resistance. And I want you to think about all the progress that perfectionism has stolen from you over time, along with resistance. Perfectionism is a weapon that resistance has that he can use against you. Are you going to let resistance rob you? The guy who has stolen all of your potential. This current version of you that doesn't want to actually transform or change in any way. This version of you that is completely okay with self-sabotaging you and screwing up your life. No, don't let him rob you. Beat him up. And the way you do that, and the way you stop perfectionism, just saying, it's good enough. I got a minimum viable product. It's good enough. It's a text document. It works. I sent it to the team. They understand. If you're creative, especially, raw is real. And people like real. When you keep it real with people, when you show people that you're a human and you don't have this unnatural amount of polish, like that's why we dislike a lot of these companies. I mean, there's a lot of more reasons why we dislike these giant companies. You know the ones I'm talking about. But they have this unnatural, unhuman polish about them. Whereas all the things that you really enjoy, think about it. They're probably things that are more rough and artistic and have a lot of real human expression in them where you can tell, like somebody very passionate made this. And it's not perfect. It shows that it's very human. The design is very human. So really, if you want people to like your stuff, just put out something real. Professional and real are not separate. You can actually still be professional and be yourself. You don't have to mask 24/7, especially if you're like a business, you're doing sales. Like being fakey is like the worst thing you can do in sales. You just want to be real as hell. This is what I'm selling. Do you want it? Yes or no? Here's why it's awesome. Boom, boom, boom. Do you want it? Yes or no? People like doing business with real people who don't feel like robots, who don't feel like sales robots. People like working with people who feel like real people and not corpo, robot, whatever the hell. And if you're in a corporate position, you don't have to be like that. You can still be real. You can have a freaking personality. Like, it's fine. Getting a corporate job doesn't mean that you have to suddenly like kill a part of yourself. Like, no, that's not what it means. In fact, I'm sure your colleagues would like if you brought some more real to your workplace. And if they don't like it, screw them. Who cares? Like, just be yourself. Being yourself is so optimized because it's optimizing for your happiness and your dopamine. If you're constantly suppressing yourself, if you're constantly masking, which most people with ADHD are, you're tanking your dopamine. That actually takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of discipline to do that. And it makes you stressed. And all of this depletes your dopamine and makes you less productive. So don't mask. Screw it. If people don't like who you are, then they're not your friends. There are plenty of people out there who love the type of energy that ADHD brings to the table. Even if it's just people with other people with ADHD. You are not entitled to make everybody like you. In fact, people are going to like you more if you don't quite fit the mold, if you got something unique and special about you, right? So just own it. Just own it. You're fine. You're good. But all right, guys, that's all I got today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like one-on-one mentorship with me, go ahead and click the link in the description. Also, like and subscribe, juice up the algorithm so this channel gets out to more people so we can help more people who have ADHD. Turn their dreams into reality. Thank you so much for watching to the end. It helps the video a ton. Peace.